Christmas time is here. Happiness and cheer. Fun for all. So in this video, we're going to be painting a greeting card. If you didn't see the first Christmas greeting card that I did, we're going to link it below. I did a holiday wreath. It's nice and green and red and traditional for you folks who like the green and red stuff and the wreath things. But in this one, we're going to be painting a basic snowflake. Anything and anyone can do this snowflake. Snowflakes can get really complex and complicated, and each one is unique. But this one is just a few straight lines and some V's, and that's it. And then we're gonna letter on top of it after it dries in a separate video. So if you wanna check out how to letter and use calligraphy on your special DIY handmade, what are these, holiday cards for your family, your loved ones, then make sure you check out those videos where we do the calligraphy, where we do the calligraphy. But let's get started. So similar to the first video I did talking all about holiday cards, we're going to be using an X-Acto knife. Watch out, it's dangerous and sharp. A size 6 round brush. All my supplies are linked below. Love this brush. We're going to use a pencil, and we're going to use an eraser maybe if we mess up. And then obviously our paper and our paints. The paper is by Legion, Stonehenge Aqua Cold Press. I don't use anything else ever in my life. Same thing with my paints, all Winsor & Newton. Same thing with my brushers. My brushes, they're always Princeton. But everything, if you're like, what does she use? I need to buy it now. It's all linked below. So we're gonna start with a 7x10 pad of paper, or block of paper. I'm using a 7x10 because we're going to be scoring this paper so it folds down to a 5x7 inch card, folded card, which is a very standard, if you're going to pick up an envelope like at a Staples or Target or just like a random big box retailer, they're going to have A7 envelopes, no question. And so we are going to find the middle of this paper with my ruler, and I'm just going to mark it, which is going to be 5 inches, so I have it horizontally mapped out. And I'm marking where 5 inches it is at on both the top and the bottom. And then I'm going to line up my ruler on the top and bottom. I'm not going to draw a pencil line down the middle. I'm going to take my X-Acto knife and I am going to slice. Depending on how sharp your knife is, will depend on how many times you have to do this. I'm going to do about 5. The first video I did 3, and it could have used a couple more passes. Just be safe. These things are sharp. I don't remember. I wasn't counting. I have a scar from high school art class from an X-Acto knife. Be very, very careful. If you're doing this with your children, don't let them touch the X-Acto knife. Very sharp. Okay, so we're peeling up that top sheet of paper that I just sliced from the block of paper, and now that we have a nice score, it's really easy to fold. Boom, done. No pressing and all of that kind of stuff. So it's nice, clean fold, no breaking of the paper. Okay, and now I'm going to grab my pencil. I just have a soft lead pencil. I honestly don't even know what the brand is on this pencil. It's just a random 7B pencil. I normally go for a 2B or an HB pencil, but this is a super basic, we're not like sketching a portrait or anything crazy, so we're just doing 5 lines. And so I am going to mark the middle of my paper on both horizontal and portrait lines. So this is 7 inches tall, so we're gonna find 3.5 inches, which is there. Kind of draw a longer line. And then we're gonna find the middle here, 5 inches, which is 2.5. So we're gonna come down where that 3.5 was and mark 2.5. And that is our center. So that's gonna be the center of our snowflake. All of our lines are going to cross and meet there. So then I'm gonna take my ruler and I'm gonna bring up my ruler to the 3-inch mark. So I'm gonna point my 3 inches right on that center dot. So find center on your card. We're gonna put 3 inches because we're gonna do 2 inches this way, or so our lines are gonna be 4 inches long. No, 5 inches. I'm really bad at math. Our lines of our snowflake are going to be 5 inches long. That's right, yes. Is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah, 5. So I'm gonna start from the 1 mark and draw down to the 5 mark. Does that look even? Yeah. And then I'm going to do the same thing, meet at 3. If these don't end up perfect, it's totally fine. You are going to be painting much thicker than these pencil lines, so it'll kind of make up for it. Make sure you sketch really lightly. And then for these diagonal lines, so I'm making a plus sign. So 5 inches long ways, 5-inch line horizontally. And then I'm going to do 2 diagonal lines intersecting with those 2 lines that I just did. So I'm meeting the center point with my 3-inch mark on my ruler, and I'm going from 1 to 5. And then same thing for the other side. Find 3, go from 1 to 5. Okay, so now we have our lines for the snowflake. I'm going to erase any lines outside of it that were mistakes that I don't need. And then all I'm going to be doing is painting over these lines with some cobalt blue. If you don't have this color, it's really delicious and nice. So you should get it. But if you don't have it, Prussian blue is a great color. You can mix it up like a more smoky blue color with Prussian blue and some black and a lot of water if you want. I'm gonna use cobalt blue with a touch of Mars black. For my snowflake color, you could also use a turquoise color. Totally up to you what color you use. And I'm gonna start out with a really light base color. And then I'm just gonna use wet and wet technique and plug in some darker, more saturated color so that we have some interesting blooms and bursts of color. So these don't have to be perfectly straight and even lines, but I'm just getting down a really wet line base layer, and then I'm going to grab more color. So if it's Prussian blue, it's Prussian blue. I'm using cobalt and a touch of black. And I'm going to plug in darker areas of color here and there. And then paint these other lines in using varying values of color. And then to make this so it's not just an asterisk, we are going to add some V's. These V's don't have to be perfectly symmetrical or perfectly placed. To me, it's all about these bleeds that you see on the stems of the snowflake that make it really beautiful. All right, so this was eyeballed. Obviously, we planned out the lines a little bit, but there was some tighter spots, some bigger spots, whatever. Doesn't have to be perfect. The more you add these V's, and then if you connect the inner V's to make a big star, it's really cute, and it makes a full snowflake. But you definitely don't have to do those inner V's, and you can just stick to the two outer ones. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you want to learn how to letter or calligraph on top of this card, for a holiday card, a little DIY holiday card, make sure you check out that video. We're going to link it below. Again, all of the supplies are linked below too, so if you don't have the supplies that I'm using and you're frustrated with the supplies that you have, or you don't have any supplies, make sure you check out those links below and order those because they're fabulous. It's all I use. And favorite Christmas movie of all time, hands down, best ever in the world. Charlie Brown Christmas. What's yours?
I don't know. National Lampoon's.
That's a
Christmas Vacation.
Christmas Vacation.
So good.
It's very good. It's a very good movie. I would love it if you commented below with your favorite Christmas movie. I'm really curious. I also am ready to start the holiday spirit. Ready to start the holiday spirit. It's before Thanksgiving, a few weeks before Thanksgiving in the US. But I'm ready. So comment below with your favorite Christmas movie. I would love to check it out. And stay tuned for the next video.